we will be using the 72 peg green loom from the Gallery London. The yarn I'm using is the Yarnspirations Caron Jumbo in Baby Rainbow. It is a number 4 worsted weight yarn. It does come in smaller skeins, but you can use any type of worsted weight variegated yarn. You do not want striping. You want it to be like this. Let me show a different spot. Alright, so we got blue, and then it goes into pink, and then it goes into green. It's not real long stretches of the same color. I will explain that in a few minutes. We're going to cast on, and something I do to help me is this is a straw. Honestly, I prefer paper straws, and so don't the turtles, but this one is a plastic one. You want to kind of squeeze the tip a little bit, helps it go through the pegs much easier. We're using a double E-wrap cast on. What you want to do is take the tail of the yarn down through the loom, and I'm creating a slip knot. I'm going to put it on that anchor and tighten it up, but you can anchor it to that to the anchor peg any way you would like. This cast on is worked one peg at a time. If you wrap every single peg 2 times and then go and knit over, your cast on will be very tight. So you're going to go around, wrap around the peg 2 times. Take that bottom over the top. That first one's going to be tight because it's coming directly from there. Go to the next. Wrap around it 2 times. You can use your hook to kind of hold that first one. You can push it down with your hand. The brim is a 2x2 ribbing. What that means is you purl 2 stitches, knit 2 stitches, purl 2 stitches, and you do this all the way around. To do your purl stitch, you take your working yarn below the stitch that's on the loom, take your loom tool down through the top of the stitch, pull that working yarn up through, you've made your new stitch. Pop off the old, put the new one on. Show you again, down through the top, pull the working yarn up through and put it on there. For your knit stitch, you can use the true knit, the U-knit, or the flat stitch. I do a combo of the U-knit and flat stitch. The U-knit, you wrap the yarn around the back of the peg, kind of in a U shape, and then you knit over. Show you your purl stitch again. Down through the top, pull the working yarn up. Again. The flat stitch, the only difference is instead of wrapping it around, you hold it across the front. The difference, it creates a tighter stitch. The stitches look the exact same. It's just, it's tighter if you're holding the strand completely across instead of wrapping it around. Work up 15 rounds of rib stitch. Your 15 rounds are done. For the body of the hat, you will knit until you come to the yellow. Every time you come to yellow, you will purl. Keep knitting. There's some more yellow. You will purl. Work up 75 rounds. 75 rounds are done. We will be doing 2 rounds of decreases and using a flat top bind off. To decrease, we will work 4 pegs. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Take the stitch from the 4th, place it on the 5th, and then knit over. So that's 1. Do the next one, 2, 3, and 4. Take the 4th one over, knit over. That's the first. Do this all the way around. There'll be 3 together and empty, 3 together and empty. We're back here. Our next round of decreases will be that second right there. So I've already worked this peg. I'm going to knit over and move it over and knit over. Work, work, work. Every other peg on the loom will have a stitch on it. We're going to wrap the working yarn around the loom 2.5 times and cut. We are using a flat top bind off. And what we do is we take the working yarn, go up through the stitch on the peg. You can remove the stitch, and then you're going to skip one and do the next. And then skip one. Back at the beginning, now you just remove the rest of the stitches. So up through, and then you can remove it. Go to the next. The only thing left is to tighten up your cast off string and weave in your ends. If you want, you can add a cute pom-pom. You can see what I'm doing. I got my thumb down through the middle as I'm tightening this up because we have 2 layers that are tightening up at the same time here. That helps to get rid of a lot of the bulk you can get at the top of a hat. I just tighten this up pretty slowly and check the inside. Alright, you see the inside there's all tightened up, and we got the outside all tightened up. You can use a crochet hook or a tapestry needle to weave the ends in. I'm going to use a tapestry needle here. You just get your working yarn. And once that is all tightened up, I'm going to go down just right through the middle there. There are so many ways you can weave your ends in. I do not like to do knots if I don't have to. So instead, you see there are no knots here. What I'm going to do is run it down through a couple stitches. I ran it through that one stitch once. I'm going to do it a second time. That loop will help hold that in place. And then I'm just going to go run this down through just some different stitches. It doesn't really matter. This is on the inside. You're just giving yourself a couple inches of tail to have that in there. And see, you don't want to cut it off right at that last stitch, because as it stretches, see, it will become a little shorter. Okay, now we're going to weave this in. Again, doesn't super matter. What I like to do, let me get this close so you can see. I'm on the inside of the loom of the hat. A stitch, pull it through, and then I'll go down through the next one. Since this is right at the edge, I am going to weave it up a little farther than normal. Some people will flip their brims up on their hats. So that is why I'm taking it up to this area. That is optional. Alright, and then just kind of randomly through a few stitches up here. Stretch it a bit. Here we go. I love doing this technique so much because you don't know how it's going to turn out. You may end up with big patches of the collar. This one, I ended up with kind of like a swirl. This is such a fun technique, especially when you're just wanting to do something different and you don't want to have to really follow a strict pattern. You can pick any colors you want. You can do 2 different colors. I just did the yellow so that that blue and pink would kind of be sort of inset in the background. My next one I might do the white instead. Alright, there we go, guys. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Any questions and comments, leave them in the description below. You can directly email me, thehypnotichysteria@gmail.com, one word. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. You can hit that bell, turn on those notifications. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.